Oh, I'm about to get angry.
Unless you are mentally retarded and your name happens to be Drew Layton, or you are in fact Roman Reigns, then you can probably understand why I hate him. He has a lack of in-ring ability and is just genuinely an awful entertainer. So, his best moves are what? A punch and a fucking spear. Two moves that any person that doesn't have a chronic disorder and has 4 functional fucking limbs can do. Literally, I can spear as good as Roman Reigns. I personally have the same in-ring ability as Roman Reigns. I'm a fat, middle-class, Caucasian kid who lives in Britain, so that's not really saying much about Reigns. Also, you've seen from my other videos, he cannot act. He's not good at talking. He can't cut good interviews or promos, and he just doesn't deserve to be where he is right now. Someone like AJ Styles, with loads of ability, who can do backflip kicks, springboard moves, you name it, that's the type of person that should be treated with the respect that they've earned. The type of person that's been in the wrestling industry for more than 15 years now, which is AJ Styles. He was wrestling for WWE back in 1998. Well, he wrestled something like 2 matches in Madison Square Garden, but it still counts. He's been wrestling for that long, and he really did something over in TNA, and I just don't feel like WWE are going to utilise him well enough. I'm really happy they've given him 2 title shots in like the 3 months that he's been in the company so far, but why Roman? Why Roman? What does he have to offer? Why is he at the top of the company? This is what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, Roman is the champ, sure, you said that enough, Drew, thanks for enlightening me, as if I didn't already fucking know that. In a real-life sense, considering the fact that every single outcome of every single match is predetermined, and all of the scripts are rehearsed, the only thing actually even slightly fundamentally real about the entire thing is how much of an entertainer you are, how much people want to watch you, how much people are gonna find it enjoyable to watch you. And at the end of the day, AJ Styles is always dishing out new things. He did a phenomenal forearm through the table the other day. That's probably the best, announce table break in something, maybe 10 years. That was, the way it was executed, no one expected the table to break. We weren't expecting that, we weren't expecting the forearm itself, and it was just genuinely an amazing moment that AJ Styles initiated in the first 3 months of him being here. And Roman's done nothing like that, and he's been in the company for the best part of 4 years now, and his in-ring ability is going nowhere. And I made a video comparing him to John Cena. In all honesty, I prefer John Cena to Roman now, because John Cena lately, at least his in-ring ability has been really improving. He's added moves like the sunset flip and the springboard stunner. Well, as much as I don't like him using a stunner, at least it's a springboard move. These are just the little things that you can utilise to make you that little bit better in the ring. And AJ Styles goes above and beyond on all levels. And also, my main frustration is the fact that Roman hasn't even been in the wrestling industry for that long. AJ Styles has been in the wrestling industry. If he was working for WWE in 1998, if my maths are correct, he's been in it for 18 years. So nearly 20 years in the wrestling industry. That's longer than John Cena. AJ Styles has really dedicated his life to wrestling. Same with someone like Daniel Bryan. He's been doing it since he was 18. He's been doing it for, over 15 years. He's been doing it what feels like all his life. And, one of the main reasons that Daniel Bryan got so popular is because he was not only just a very nice person behind the scenes, not only did he captivate an audience in what he did, not only was he just genuinely one of the most motivational people on the roster, but he had in-ring ability. He had the ability to connect with the audience. He had the ability to make Kane hugging someone the best part of SmackDown or Raw. He had the ability to do that. Roman has the ability of saying son a lot, making awkward faces at the camera, and botching every other fucking move. Roman adds absolutely nothing new to the table. He brings on no new moves. We've all seen a punch in the face before, and we've all seen a spear before. You know you have. You know it's a boring move that grows old quickly, and you should be ashamed of yourself, Drew. Roman could work. Everybody pretty much in WWE right now, apart from a few exceptions, Fandango, Eva Marie, could work, including Roman. I liked him in The Shield as a villain or a heel in wrestling terminology, and it worked because his style was the kind of style that a bad guy would use, this kind of raw, punching, spearing beast that just destroys people without speaking. He was just this kind of silent destroyer that none of us could help but grow to love, and the dynamic worked very well with Seth and Dean, Seth being the athletic one of the group, Roman being the powerhouse, and then Dean just kind of being a mix of the two, being able to dish out and deal quite a lot of pain. And just genuinely the way that the group connected was just brilliant. It worked very well. But then Seth Rollins betraying them was a brilliant move. I think Seth Rollins should be an individual talent rather than tagging along with the Shield. But if Roman and Dean had stayed heel, possibly having Roman turn heel against Dean and then Dean turning face, which is good guy, face in wrestling terminology, that would have worked better in my opinion. But Roman should not be at the top of the company, and above all, he shouldn't be a good guy. Speaking of good guys, when he came out and did that promo where he said, "I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy," I must admit, I enjoyed it at first, because I thought to myself, great, Roman's at least found some way to connect with the audience. And you see, "I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy," is the kind of catchphrase that you could use once, at max twice, and then kind of move on from it a bit. If you're trying to make a point that you're better than someone else, if you just say, "I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy," that's good, just for like that one conversation, then never be brought up again. Because Roman doesn't have that natural mic ability, that's the best thing he can come up with. Do we really want a person who can't act, can't wrestle, and just genuinely, also I've heard, isn't the most astounding person in interviews as the top person in the company? This is probably a less rage-filled rant than I'd expected, but I just wanted to be more reasonable rather than yelling about why Roman Reigns was bad and not making any sense. I guess the bottom line of the video is I share this frustration with many other fans who have been here for ages, and I think it's so painfully obvious what they need to do to make him likeable again, but they're not doing it. And I feel it's so painfully obvious what they can do to make fans happy, but WWE never do it. The way it should be is that faces don't win that much. There are mainly heels with the titles. When you don't have faces win that much, it always feels that much better when the faces win. Because you can always make faces as the underdogs, you can always make them as the people that have the odds stacked against them. I have to admit, Roman versus AJ is one of the best feuds in wrestling right now, because unlike a lot of other feuds, we don't have a very clear heel-face dynamic, and what I mean by that is, it's not clear who is right, and it's not clear who's wrong, because AJ, of course, naturally is a face, but he's aligning himself with two heels, in Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, so, you know, he's a bit of a tweener, as we'd call it, just in between. But at the same time, so's Roman, acting all happy and jolly around the fans anymore. He's always kind of acting disgusted around them, as if they don't appreciate him for what he is, and he's relying on more dirty tactics, which I think is definitely pointing Reigns in the right direction. I say that, but the big elephant in the room still remains that no matter how good you make Roman, no matter how much you made him better, he doesn't work as the top guy in the company. He should be this silent destroyer that does nothing but beat people up. It worked well on the Shield, he was tag team champions with Seth Rollins, and it worked, and we all loved it. But he can't be top guy in the company, he simply can't. If you're top guy in the company, if his two best moves are a spear and a punch, then what's the point in having him up there? And that's also one of my frustrations with John Cena. His signature is a 5-knuckle shuffle, which is a punch to the face. His finisher, the AA, it requires a lot of strength to do, I'll give him that. But if all you're really requiring is strength, and not really anything like physical control, then my question for you is what's the point? And WWE will make the most muscly and good-looking guys at the top, whereas they'll leave the people like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, etc., who put their heart and soul into the sport, down at the bottom. Quite frankly, they couldn't give less of a toss. They're still making money, and they still have kids who will watch the product. I think that's it for my Roman Reigns rant. But the main point is Roman should not be at the top of the company because he can't speak on the mic, he can't wrestle, his two best moves are a punch and a spear, and he adds absolutely nothing new to the table. If anything, it's just bad stuff. Turn him heel, lower him down a bit, try and get him to find some different momentum. I've been Mr. Great Gamer Guy, thanks for watching. Hey! Just before you left, I thought I'd just inform you guys that I'm going to be starting a new series. It's basically going to be, I might call it 2K creation or something stupid like that. But basically, I'm just going to be dicking around with 2K16, trying to see what awesome moments I can recreate within the game's engine. Be sure to leave in the comments below, and like a moment that you love from WWE's history that you'd love to see me recreate in 2K16. As past me said, I've been Mr. Great Gamer Guy, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Ah, that's better.